we played a lot of man too. When we needed to really strap down, we strapped, especially when we play in San Francisco because they didn't have no receivers like that. We like, hey, press. Everybody press. We man.
Yeah, they ain't had no receivers and they ain't had no quarterback. All due respect. I mean, Colin Cap, you should have seen what we did to that boy the year before.
But shit, we you know who did have a quarterback?
Who?
The Broncos. They had a quarterback who set the record for touchdown passes with 55 and 5,500 or 5,300 yards. And we strapped them up too. Strapped them up.
I think honestly, that game got out of hand early. You know, they snapped the ball over for the safety. And your offense was scoring at will on them boys.
Our offense scored like 2 touchdowns. Like our offense didn't score until like the second quarter. Like
so y'all had the Malcolm, my dog Malk, shout out Malk, had his interception. What was that? The third quarter for the touchdown?
Yeah, it didn't get out of hand until the second half. Like it was a close game until the second half. I think it was 8-0 until middle of the second or middle of the. And I think that might have been our first touchdown from our offense, and it was 15-0.
Yeah,
like it didn't get out of hand until late. We start punishing them, but. A lot of that game happened because we watched the tape of them boys, and I love Demarius and what he did, and Decker and Welker and all them boys. But when we watched them on tape, people was just getting tired. Like that was the big thing from that game. Like we were watching them and watching them beat the heck out of everybody, and everybody was just getting tired. They was running simple stuff. They was running like day 1, day 2 install of training camp. Like it wasn't like they was running some complicated. They running drive basic, slant flat, curl flat, like simple stuff. TJ, but everybody was getting to the line quick. People trying to adjust. People trying to check. People ain't lined up, and they just efficient.
No, it was a speed. It was a speed offense. But that running game. The thing I say, they scored a lot of points, like you said, because you know they were on the ball, very high tempo offense, like a Chip Kelly offense almost in the league, right? They could not run the ball, so expecting anything but pass. You know, I think who was the running back they had that year? It wasn't Noshawn. It was Ball, Monty Ball. It was Monty Ball.
Monty Ball.
Was it?
It might have been a combo of a couple people.
And CJ.
But yeah.
But
yep.
Also, we're gonna flip it and go to the Broncos defenses that year, right? Once they got all them injuries out the way, Von Miller didn't play in that game, Chris Harris didn't play in that game, Derek Wolfe didn't play in that game. Who else didn't play in that game? Kevin Vickerson didn't play in that game. Raheem Moore didn't play in that game. Would you not say that your offense really controlled the ball that game and really went up and down the field with no turnovers against that Broncos
no,
defense?
I would not. I would tell you to watch the game. I would tell you they had a couple 3-and-outs early in that game. They were not doing well. They were not moving the balls particularly well. We got held to 3 points, multiple drives early on. Like they were getting held to 3 point. Like it was 8-0 because we had 2 field goals in a safety. Like, but I would say our offense, I mean, Russ threw for 2 touchdowns, I think 200 yards. Like it wasn't a crazy game for him by any stretch of the imagination. You know what it was? Percy had a return touchdown.
Yeah, that was.
We had a defensive touchdown. We had a 2-point conversion. So that's 16. So 16 of the 43. So that's, you know what I mean? Like, then the rest is the offense. I think Marshawn might have had 2 tugs. Like, but what I'm saying is in this defensive discussion, if we talking about who played the game, like we played within the circumstances you're given. You given the circumstances you're given, and you play within them. In the circumstances we were given, we played Drew Brees before we played Cap. We played Drew Brees, and guess what? He had 39 touchdowns, 5,000 yards to 12 interceptions that season. We played Drew in the division. We tore him up. Like, Drew, you got to go. And that's what we did to just about everybody who stepped in front of us. So we're not going to sit here and be like, man, y'all, who did y'all play? Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Drew Brees just got his jacket.
We had Cam Newton in them boys too. They was pretty prolific that year in offense. Number 1 in offense. You know, I think number 2 in rushing offense, something like that. And now you seen the game, he couldn't do nothing. at
Right,
all.
but he still threw for 240 and
Oh,
shit, we held
that
him
was
for,
garbage time. The game was over.
right.
The game was over
But
by then.
if we
We
not about to
really
sit
would have
here and
shut him
compare,
out. I mean, they scored a touchdown. I can't say that. If you get the ball in your territory and you don't hold the offense to 3 points, then you fail. That's how I feel, right? Even if
great
they get the
defense.
ball in your territory, your job
Right.
is to hold them in field goal range. And we let Stu get a touchdown. So I'm not gonna say we wouldn't shut him out or nothing, but the 10 points that they did have, one was from that touchdown from Stu, and one was later in the game. But nonetheless,
What
can't huh?
go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
Cam Newton MVP, and they defense went out there and made us turn the ball over another 2 times. All right, that defense,
Right.
Luke Kuechly going in the hall this year. I just seen Luke at the combine. Funny story, going in the elevator. I'll tell that later, but you just walk in the elevator, you can press the button and look up Luke Kuechly. It's the second time I ran into him on some crazy shit like that. But anyway, defense was stacked, 2 interceptions on their side. I think overall we played a better team than y'all.
Yeah, but nobody would say that. Like if your argument is the with Brown and whoever they had at receiver that year for Carolina, like nobody who would start in the league.
And Greg Olsen.
You could say Greg Olsen, but nobody who would start in the league for any other team other than Carolina.
What? Ted Ginn was smoking that year. I'm not saying he a number one. I mean, like, look, he's not a certified number one. They had Brown, Hollywood. What they call him? Not Hollywood Brown. I forgot it.
Exactly.
But they had a good 3-man. Greg Olsen, debatable Hall of Famer, was strapped all game, strapped him up like some LA Gears. But the running game, I think, was that 3-headed Jay Stu. Even they had Fozzie Whitaker on that team. The other fullback and Cam Newton was probably their most potent threat, for sure. For sure, was their most potent threat.
But that's what I'm saying, TJ. That's what I'm saying. We arguing things that cannot be argued because the 2015 Broncos are the most prolific offense in the NFL's history. Not just
regular
that year,
season.
The NFL's history, the playoffs too, they were still killing. They
regular
were averaging like 37 a game.
And that's like,
what
go ahead.
I'm saying is, if we ain't talking regular season, what the heck are we talking about? Like, that's what records are broken. That's when they're figured. They were killing throughout the playoffs. So let's not think, they weren't scoring big points throughout the playoffs. They just didn't get to that Super Bowl and score points because of us. They just ran into an immovable object. But they were doing it all season long. They set records. The Carolina Panthers didn't set no records. They don't got no players that you can remember outside of Jay Stu and Cam Newton. It was Cam Newton and the boys. The defense was the strength of that team. The Denver Broncos, the offense was one of the great. There's still records that have not been touched that team had. They had was it 4,000-yard receivers? Because
nah.
No, they had at least 3. They had at least the tight end was 1,000. Both receivers, Decker, and I think Wes Welker was like 900. So you talking about, that's what I'm saying. The numbers were that crazy. And they had 8 points. And they had 8 points in garbage time because Demaryius just was relentless. Demaryius was not going to go out of there without a fight, man. R.I.P. my boy Demaryius.
R.I.P. man. Long live.
Long live. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we took the football away at a high level, and you can call it cover 3. But the reason we played cover 3 was because we had such smart individuals.